If you have a piece of material that you need to take thickness down on, a face mill is a really good way of doing that quickly and efficiently, but you need a pretty rigid machine to be able to do that. This is a little Harbor Freight mini mill, and obviously it doesn't have the rigidity for a large face mill. I'm going to show you what a large face mill can do, especially if you have a more rigid machine. A little end mill like this, you'd want to use a bigger one, like a 3/4 or a 1 inch, can do a pretty good job at facing and taking material off. But if you want to take large amounts of material, like 50 thousandths, 100 thousandths passes with 3 inches depth of width cutting across, you need something a bit more rigid and a bit more beefy. Here's an example of something I was doing earlier today with a 3-inch face mill that I had just installed brand new inserts on, and it's cutting through the steel no problem, 50 thousandths depth, and then this is a 1-inch piece. And it was so nice to cut with, and it left behind a really good surface finish, and in no time at all, you can take a cut straight across there and take material really quickly. What I was doing was I took a 50 thousandths cut and then a 10 thousandths cut, and that takes about 60 thousandths off, which is about 1/16 of an inch, because my whole part was about an 1/8 inch oversized, so I took a 1/16 off both sides, and man, did it work well. The surface finish that it left on this part was really good, and in fact, what we were doing on the mill here was we were squaring up a block of steel, and we were able to get it completely square, flat, and parallel within 1/2 of a thousandth, which is really good, especially when you're working on a mill. It's sometimes a bit easier to have a chip get in the jaw, and there's a few more things you need to take into account, like parallelism and perpendicularity, but once you get those things down, it's pretty cool. A 1-inch or 3/4 end mill is really about as big as you can go on a mill like this that really is struggling with rigidity. But it really helps going with a high quality end mill. This is a Harvey 1 TE, a Kennametal, and it does a really good job at cutting through steel. It's a pleasure to use on like a Bridgeport, a larger, more rigid machine, but it really helps whenever the machine has less rigidity and it can take larger passes than cheaper Chinesium end mills can.